Hi there, welcome to a video by SecureSecrets today. Today I am showcasing how you can sign a transaction offline and submit it to a different computer on an online node. Today I am using the secret network using the Secretcli, but you can essentially use this all over the Cosmos SDK. All the networks that use the Cosmos SDK are built on Tendermint and they use the same CLI formations, so you can actually do this sign transaction functionality on any of these networks. I'm going to use VMware today, and I'm going to also use the testnet for the secret network so I can show you how the transactions move around. So let's get started. I'm going to use VMware. If you have seen our previous video, it uses VirtualBox. These two softwares are essentially the same that allow virtualization of Ubuntu operating systems. I'm going to use Ubuntu 2004 long-term support for this tutorial as well. So let's go ahead and add a new virtual machine in here. Go into operating systems and add the next. I'm gonna give it a name and a username. Maybe 12345 will work. All right, let's move forward. Gonna assign it a space and going to also power on this virtual machine. As you see, it's actually going to install the whole Ubuntu application, and I'll try to skip to the installation process. I'll come to the critical parts. Okay, so it seems that it's installed now, and let's go ahead and log in. It took a good 20 minutes to install the whole Ubuntu, so you want to make sure that you leave enough time for installation, as well as you have enough disk space, because just one instance of the Ubuntu takes up about 30 GB. You could essentially reduce this if you're using the Linux server. Again, I'm using the desktop version just to make life easier. I'm going to log in with our password 12345, and alright, so it seems it's loaded up. I'm gonna skip this for now. Alright, so it seems it's running fine. We are connected to the internet. So let's go ahead and just cross-check that. Ping 8.8.8.8. Yep, seems that we're connected. And now I'm going to make sure that this is the actual online version. We need to create another instance, which is the offline computer, which won't be connected to the network. So to do that, let's go ahead and clone this right here. I'm just going to start with the current state of the machine. And I'm just going to create a full clone so that there's nothing that's connected between those two. Again, you want to make sure that you have enough space in your disk, because it's going to copy over all the files that was installed on the first file. Okay, so it seems the cloning is completed. And you see that the new version was created. I'm going to just quickly rename and just mark this as the offline computer. But before it's an offline computer, we want to make sure that it actually is offline. And to do that, we're just going to go ahead in the settings and take out the network driver from it so that it won't be able to connect to the internet. So let's go ahead, remove this. And as you see, there's no network driver in here anymore. Okay, let's spin this one up. Okay, it seems so the offline computer is up and running. Let's log into that as well. Now, because we cloned the password and the username and everything should be same, and so I'm gonna log in using 12345 here. Okay, so we are in, and as you notice, the network tab is gone up from here because we took out the network driver from the system. I also went ahead and spinned up the online computer because that's where our node will live and our transactions will sign from. And as you see, this is the online computer and this is the offline computer side by side. In a real world scenario, you could technically have these as two different computers if you like so. So let's go ahead and set up our node first. Let's go to build.srt.network here. Go ahead to node operators. Well, I am going to use testnet in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and run a full node using testnet. So here we are on the build website that gives us instructions to install a full node on a Mint machine. I am going to go ahead and showcase this website and add this link at the bottom. You should be able to follow these instructions per se as instructed to install your node. I'm going to skip this part. As part of Secretcli, you require the SGX enable machine. So I'm going to already have a setup node that I can connect to. And I'm going ahead and just going to directly connect to that. And this will act as our online machine where transactions will be submitted. So let's go ahead and so I signed into my SGX machine, and I'm going to go ahead and create a key pair that I can remember for signing transactions. I have my key pair set up as you can see. Keys list, and as you see, there is already added key pair. You should have this exactly set up on your online machine. I'm gonna showcase my node running by running journal. Oops. And as you see, it is connected to the testnet. I'm gonna cancel that now. So you should essentially have your online computer set up ready to go. Now let's go ahead and install Secretcli on a local machine that's offline set up on our VMware right here. Let's go ahead. First thing first, let's go ahead and download the Secretcli. Okay, let's go right here and let's get this. Now this link is also attached at the bottom of this video. As you see, we have downloaded Secretcli and it should be visible in your home folder right here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this package to the offline machine. Now this can be achieved in a physical form, as in like you can copy it using a USB, you can copy it using whatever you like pretty much, as it's an offline machine. Alright, as you see, I have installed, I've copied Secretcli to the offline machine. There is a way in VMware you can copy between machines, but you have to enable that in your settings. If it's not already enabled, it won't allow you to copy files between different VM machines. What I did was I went and copied it to my global computer on my Windows right here, as you see, and copied it back to my Ubuntu offline machine. Okay, as you see, I've copied Secretcli right into the offline machine, and now we can go ahead and run Secretcli from here. And go ahead and paste this command in. Basically adds a key pair into Secretcli. I'm gonna set this password to be 12345. 12345. Let's see if it accepts it. Right. So as you see, it released type, address, public key, and a mnemonic phrase. Want to make sure that we copy that because this particular account. So let's go ahead and create a video private key. Go ahead and paste it here just so that we have access to it if required, and close that in. Now let's go ahead and create a transaction, but before we do create a transaction, we want to make sure that our account is funded. So to fund this account, I'm going to send some secrets from my live node to this particular address. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and sign a transaction that you can find right here. As you see, we come to this particular build documentation, and we're gonna go ahead and send some tokens to our new created address right here. So let's go ahead and do a Secretcli transaction sent. Here comes our address, that is SecureSecrets test. We're gonna put in the address that we just created on our offline account. I'm gonna send in, let's say, 10 SCRTs. So I'm gonna do 10 million US CRT. That's because of the denomination. And then let's go ahead and do a memo. Let's see, equals funding a new offline account, and let's go put the chain ID as intended, that is Enigma public testnet 2. Just to confirm that we are on the right one, let's go ahead and cross check that. Right there. Oh, it seems that I will need to get my account information as well, because it won't accept my we can just go ahead and replace the keyring with the actual address. So let's go ahead and get my address from here. So that's my address, and replace that with an actual account. Alright, it asked me for my password. I'm gonna add in my password, and it asked me to send a transaction. Yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and let's go ahead and check if our transaction was successful. Yeah, as you see, 10 SRT to our newly created address, and to prove that, like, memo right there. As you see, this is the testnet we're running on, so there's a lot of stress testing going on behind the scenes. Let's ignore that as much as we can, and make sure that we get our offline transactions signed on the offline account. So just to be clear, we already have 10 SCRT sitting in our address, but when we go to this CLI, this CLI account doesn't know that we have already had a particular amount of funding on our account. So there's no way you can pull up saying the amount on this particular address. So now let's go ahead and create a transaction. Now, for example, let's say that we want to send the some SRTs from the secret tokens from the video address to actually the SecureSecrets address. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and create a transaction first. Let's go ahead and follow this particular going to go ahead and essentially reverse this. There. Now we gotta fund send the funds back. And just to make it sure, let's just do one SCRT instead. Now let's go ahead. We have the chain ID. We want to make sure that we add the generate only tag, and we write this to an unsigned transaction.json file. Now as you see, we'll have a simple unsigned transaction. Let's see that. Where is it? Right there. Unsigned transaction.json right there. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this transaction.json file and going to copy paste this into our offline machine. So to get that, let's get the file from the unsigned file from our computer that has SGX enabled right now, and I'm just going to go ahead connect to that using WinSCP. You can use FileZilla to get this file. I'm gonna go ahead and go to home and grab this unsigned transaction JSON. I'm gonna copy this and paste it for now on the desktop, and it's right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that in our offline machine. Again, you need to, if you're doing it over different computers, you need to manually copy these files. Let's go ahead and drop this in right there. Unsigned transaction. Alright, it's in there. Now we got to sign this using our private key on the virtual computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go here and following the command right here, let's go ahead and type that in. Secretcli transaction sign chain ID, that's equal to enigma public testnet 2 and from, that's our video, and then move the unsigned transaction .json to signed transaction .json. Oh, let me go ahead and add this in right here. So essentially this is our command to actually sign a transaction, but for specifically signing it offline, you need to actually add some parameters. So you have to define that it's offline. You have to make sure that you have a sequence number and that you have account number equals. To get this, actually you need to make sure that you're running a particular command on the live node to get your account number and sequence number, as without that you won't be able to generate an offline transaction. So let's go ahead and grab that from our online node. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our account ID, and that's the account number, and our sequence number for signing the transaction. So let's go ahead and run Secretcli account and add our address in on the live node, and that will return our particular sequence number and account number. So let's go ahead and grab the account number in. Let's make that 2378, and our sequence number is 0. Now let's go ahead and sign this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and check our signed transaction.json. Let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so you should see that it goes from here, and then you see the public key and your signature attached to it. Now let's go ahead and grab this signed transaction and add it back. Let's copy that first here to our desktop, and I'm gonna add it back to my online node where my online node is set up. So let's go ahead and drop it here. Alright, so you'll see that there is a signed transaction.json here. Now, last thing we gotta do is broadcast this on our on the network. So to broadcast this on the network, we just have to basically run the broadcast command. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check our block explorer. As you must see, let's go to this address, and you'll see that the 10 SCRT that we had sent from SecureSecrets is right here. And as you see, the SecureSecrets has a particular SecureSecrets has this much amount of SCRT. Now we're gonna do is send one SCRT from our video address to SecureSecrets. So let's go ahead and do that. It's super easy. Just Secretcli transaction broadcast, add the node in. So in my case, I usually use so my node that that has this address at this point, the local host and the right port. Gonna go ahead and send the signed transaction.json file in. All right, and it's committed to the network. Let's go ahead and check our transactions. It should show up in a couple of minutes. Let's go and refresh this. There it is. We sent one SCRT to SecureSecrets test. There is send the funds back. That's our transaction hash. And that's everything for this video. As you saw, we were able to sign a transaction on an offline machine that's not ever connected to the network. You do have to know that you have to get the sequence number and you need to get the account number. Now the sequence keeps on changing. That's something to note, and the sequence will always increase the number of transactions. So if you're doing like hundreds of transactions offline, you want to make sure that you do the sequence number right. And other things to note is that I did use the test network, which required SGX. So I had the node set up pre node set up already on my external computer with SGX hardware. But you can do that on if you're doing this on a Cosmos SDK network. You don't necessarily need that. You just need to install your node and get your node up and running. Again, thanks for watching this video, and feel free to subscribe to SecureSecrets.network. Leave a thumbs up, and if you have more questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Feel free to follow us and this video. Thank you.